What's up, guys, ladies and gentlemen? The greatest wrestling promotion in many years is now available on YouTube, and it's called Ring Ka King. Let me tell you what Ring Ka King is. It is basically a pro wrestling promotion. It's based in India, and it's backed by TNA. This is basically a pro wrestling company that just started. It just started this year. They started airing episodes as around mid-January, mid-late January, and they've only had like 3 episodes so far. And it's very, entertaining. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. The first 3 episodes are only about an hour each, and it's really, really worth watching. The matches are good. Everything is very simple and straightforward. The storyline, not really a lot of storylines to speak of, but they have little promos that the wrestlers would cut, and it seems very, very good. The presentation and everything about this promotion is pretty much on point. It's very enjoyable. It looks really sweet, and I mean, I think it's worth watching. If you're a wrestling fan, if you like ROH, if you like TNA or WWE, Ring Ka King is definitely worth checking out. I mean, they got episodes right now on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search Ring Ka King Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, and I think Episode 4 should be this Saturday. Oh boy. More information, we got Jarrett is in charge of the promotion. That's right, Double J, Mr. TNA. With Dutch Mantel, Dave Lagana, Sonjay Dutt, and Jeremy Borash. Savio Vega is actually responsible for training the Indian talent at OVW. Wow! OVW, that's right, I forgot about that. OVW has sort of become a pseudo-developmental territory for TNA, I guess. I mean, they sort of have, at the very least, a kind of a business partnership going on. It's located at Pune, India. That's Pune. There's been 4 episodes as of February the 5th, 2012. So the 4th episode should be airing this Saturday. Very cool stuff. It's on the Colors TV 2012 to present. Colors TV is the channel. And it's really cool because, I mean, you got these different wrestlers on there. Let's run down the list of the names. You got Abyss, American Adonis, who is Chris Masters. Used to be Chris Masters. Broadway. Bulldog Hart, who is actually D.H. Smith, a.k.a. Harry Smith, of the Hart dynasty. The son of the British Bulldog. Chavo Guerrero Jr. So, obviously, Chavo Guerrero, he used to be in the WWE, former Cruiserweight Champion, tag team partner of Eddie Guerrero, so on and so forth. Cliff Compton, Deadly Danda. Some of these wrestlers are actually former WWE wrestlers. Some of them are former or current TNA wrestlers. They go under different names too. Like Dr. Nicholas Dinsmore is actually Nick Dinsmore, who is he used to be Eugene. Remember Eugene from the WWE? Gurv Sira, Harv Sira, Isaiah Cash. Isaiah Cash was actually, he used to be Festus in the WWE, but he's a really tough biker now, which is really cool. I mean, I've never seen this guy so convincing as kind of a big man type of role. You know, he's just dominant, and he looks so different. Just a different feel for this character. Isaiah Cash is just so much more intimidating than Festus. Got Mahabeli, Veera, Matt Morgan, of course, Max B, who has a boxer gimmick. The Mumbai Cats, they are sort of a mask. They kind of have like a luchador-looking mask type of costume. So you don't know who these guys are, but they're pretty good wrestlers. They're a tag team. Roscoe Jackson, Scott Steiner, of course, Sheik Abdul Bashir, and Mustafa Bashir. I think they're supposed to be brothers, I think. Shera. Now, yes, he is a translator for Chris Masters, aka American Adonis. You got Brutus Magnus, of course. Sonjay Dutt, yes. Barood, Chotu, Pagal Parinda, Patthe 1 and Patthe 1, Patthe 1 and Patthe 2, Sorabar and Zema Ion. And as far as the female contingent, we have Raisha Saeed, which is wow. It's too bad we can't really see Alyssa Flash. You know, I love Alyssa Flash. She is just hot. I love her. She's like my favorite female wrestler. But we haven't seen her in a really long time from TNA. So, and then now we get to see her as Raisha Saeed all over again. And she's actually the valet for the Sheiks, or the manager, whatever, you know. Sheik Abdul Bashir and Muhammad Bashir, they're actually a pretty good tag team. They actually had a match against the Mumbai Cats, and it was a really good tag team match. It really showcased the two tag teams really well, and I mean, just overall, it just felt like a very good presentation. Like, it just felt like these wrestlers are getting showcased properly. We get to see their positives. We get to see how well they are in the ring. There are certain problems too, like in the ring, it's not 100% polished. Some of the wrestlers they're a little bit green. They feel a little bit like, you know, when they take bumps, when they're not as technically sound as, let's say, somebody like Kurt Angle or, you know, anything like that. You can tell that some of these guys, they still need a little bit more perfection in the ring, but at the same time, they're competent. You know, they seem like competent in-ring wrestlers. And then you throw in the foreign talent, the TNA talent, the former WWE talent, and you have the formula for success here. This is a very, very good promotion. I am enjoying it. I love the set, the in-ring look. It looks like, it does look, admittedly, it looks like Indian TNA. You know, the setting looks like the Impact Zone, the lights and everything. You know, I mean, just even the layout of the studio, the fans, the way that they're set up, the barricades and everything, the colors look just like a TNA Impact circa like 2007, 2008. But at the same time, it looks like a well-presented show. I mean, there's no crazy, insane, stupid run-ins, you know, a la TNA booking, and they take wrestling somewhat seriously here. You know, we get to see the good side of, we get to see the athleticism of some of these guys. I mean, it seems like the wrestlers are trying their very best to at least put on some really good matches. Everything is kept very simple. You got the bad guy versus the good guy, the babyface versus the heel, and there's a story told in the ring, and there's like sub storylines, like you have the boss, the mysterious boss that Brutus Magnus and Scott Steiner and Sonjay Dutt answer to. You know, this mysterious guy on the phone. And these three happen to be in a stable. Kind of like a pseudo heel stable where it's like Brutus and Scott Steiner and Sonjay Dutt have all kind of banded together against, like, I guess the baby faces, you know. I mean, I can get into the management. You got guys like Jeff Jarrett and Borash and Lagana and, of course, Savio Vega and all these other people. But, hey, it's very exciting so far. I mean, I've enjoyed every single episode thus far. I mean, I like it. Yes, there is a language barrier. And that can be a problem because we don't know what they're saying 70-80% of the time. And that means that if you can't understand what they're saying, you can't really invest 100% into the product in terms of understanding the story, understanding the promos. But that being said, I mean, it's kind of like watching Japanese or Mexican wrestling where you don't know exactly what they're saying, but there's enough, maybe, you know, there's enough of a... It's wrestling. I mean, the action is inside the ring. The storyline is told inside the ring. So we still get good matches. We can still see these guys perform in the ring and see what they're all about, as opposed to just the promos. So that's cool. I mean, I like that. I like this promotion. I urge anybody who enjoys pro wrestling at all to watch Ring Ka King. That's Ring, R-I-N-G, and then Ka, K-A, K-I-N-G, King. Ring Ka King. It's really cool. They have yet to crown a champion, a Rinka King World Champion. The belt is up for grabs. Right now, they're doing a tournament style. Every episode, you know what I'm saying, they have a continuation of this particular tournament. And for the finals, obviously, whoever wins the finals gets to become the world champion. The first ever Rinka King champion. Alright, so all that being said, thus far, I would give my favorite match so far would be, I might have to go with, I have to go with the Sheik, the Bashirs, the Bashir brothers, and against the Mumbai Cats. Thought it was an exciting tag team match. It showcased the two particular tag teams, you know, in a good light. I thought it was a good match, back and forth. A lot of high athleticism that I've never really seen before from the likes of Sheik Abdul Bashir, especially him. I mean, ever since I've seen him in WWE, he was very limited there. I saw him at TNA. He didn't really impress me that much. Even a little bit in Ring of Honor, and he didn't really impress me that much. But here, he seems to just fit in really well. You know, you have this Arab tag team. You know, they kind of have like this Arab gimmick going on in this Indian environment, this Indian crowd, and it's just kind of cool to see that dynamic. You know, it's just kind of cool to see wrestling like outside of the U.S. and just outside of what we see on a daily basis. You know, beyond the WWE, TNA kind of environment. So, and the amount of talent that we've seen so far is pretty impressive. Again, you know, seeing Chris Masters every week, he's doing his Master Lock Challenge. It's actually called the Adonis Lock Challenge now because he's the American Adonis. So, very cool to see him like just completely destroy hapless fans from the crowd, which is kind of cool. What else? Scott Steiner looking like a complete beast. It's actually very fun to see him like go after the crowd and shake up the crowd a little bit and kind of do a Tiger Singh moment, you know, a la Japanese style, where Tiger Singh would go into the Japanese crowd and just start beating him and smacking him with his I guess his stick or whatever, you know, and like really hurt the fans. And it's kind of a cool thing just to see that interaction again. The fans themselves, the Rinka King ringside fans, they're a little bit I think they're new. You know, they have because the Indian fans, I would guess, are just more familiar with the WWE type of wrestling. So I wouldn't necessarily just think of them as Smart Mark fans. You know, like Smart Mark guys like us who know or, you know, claim to understand what's going on backstage and know, you know, the backstage terminology, like burying and going over and babyface and jobber and heel and putting over and things like that, like booking and backstage politics and that kind of terminology. Perhaps the Indian fan base aren't necessarily concerned with that kind of thinking, that kind of Smart Mark thinking. They just want to see a good show. They're just excited to see something fresh and something new being, you know, this pro wrestling promotion backed by an American company, American business people, and it's just American wrestlers coming in, and it's just really exciting because it's all an ensemble cast. It's all just like this awesome new thing. And it's very unique too that it started like 10 years after ROH and TNA started. You know, I mean 2002 and then 2012, we got a brand new promotion now to look out and to see. It's very, very exciting because it's like every 10 years, it seems like every decade we get at least one or two new prominent promotions that's like worth watching. Last decade it was TNA, at least at the beginning, and then ROH. You know, Ring of Honor was always kind of consistent, so but it was always just less available. You know, it was more independent. Now Rinka King has that big time feel to it. Rinka King has a kind of a TNA feel to it, but at least the fans just seem more into it. Like they seem more excited about it. And there's a novelty to it. There's a novelty because there's some Indian wrestlers in there, the foreign feel to it, where you don't really understand what they're saying unless you speak the language or understand it. And it's like, it's almost like Japan wrestling, you know? Except it's not Japanese people, it's the Indian fan base. And that sort of adds a new dimension to it, a new element. You know, it feels fresh. It feels new. It feels worth watching. So go check it out. It's Ring Ka King. And that's it for this episode of the Review Space. Check out the rest of the channel. Comment and let me know what you thought of Ring Ka King after you see an episode or two. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of this particular promotion. It looks very, very promising. I can only imagine what they're going to do with this company. Looks very cool. Subscribe, and until next time. Ciao.